I don't know if this is working. But we'll see. Oh, crap. It is working, potentially? I don't know. We'll find out. Oh, look at that. It is working. Cool. I think, anyways. Alright. Let me just do my due diligence here. It's my first time live streaming, guys. Sorry about that. I'm just trying things out. Just to try things out. See how it goes. I kind of want to go check out the, I want to get my drink, my water. I wanted to document the kind of like what I'm trying to do to get to Mugen Shoujo. I've been putting this off a little bit just so that way I didn't get burnt out on Wixoss while I was back from my win. And I wanted to check out like kind of the arts format in general, as well as just like arts, you know, that whole format in general. I'm not too worried. I got a bunch of links here to help me out. I'm not too worried with, you know, like figuring out what is the best. What was I gonna say? I know arts is a different format, and sort of everyone is sort of like been telling me, oh, it's a completely different game, and like I'm aware it's a different game, but it doesn't feel too dissimilar to what like Magic was with instant speed interaction. So I'm not actually too worried about kind of getting used to it, but what I am worried about is my lack of easy access to the Japanese meta and sort of divulging what is and what isn't a meme deck almost, you know, or things like that. So I want to I want to sort of like dig into the arts format there and try to get used to it a little bit. So I'm just kind of gonna go through things and see what I feel like. My first, I've been thinking about it for a little while. My first thought is basically as a deck builder, which is I think that's my strength. I kind of lean a little bit harder on my deck building than anything else. I think that my strength as a deck builder wants me to understand how deck building goes in this format first before I can really dedicate myself as a player to it. I think those are like two different warring sides of my brain that are always constantly kind of at war with each other. So I need to sort of understand how decks are built in this new format before I can really move on to being like, all right, now I'm jamming games, now I'm really playing. And I know there's people who have offered to help me sort of figure out that type of gameplay and stuff, and I probably will take everyone up on their offer to like jam Japanese games and try to like understand the play patterns of the format. But what I want to do first is I really have been valuing myself as a player and myself as someone who's exploring and learning to trust my own instincts, right? It's always been something I think I struggled with outside of like this game prior to this, was that I'd always lean on other people's opinions, other people's thoughts, and try to figure out safe and tried and true paths to victory. And this game has really taught me that once you get to like sort of the forefront of it, you really need to blaze your own path a little bit. So it's interesting. I'm very much trying to make my own decisions about individual cards, groups of cards played together, and my own, like, kind of really lean on like what my gut tells me is good before I start really opening up and listening to other people's advice, because then I have a basis of comparison, I think. And to be honest with you, I'm trying to also be more confident in my own decision making, which leads me to saying like I need to do a little bit for myself before I can do the rest. So this is kind of just me rambling and explaining that. You may seem like a very confident kind of guy, but like before I make a very informed opinion, I usually waffle pretty hard. So this is me trying to explore that a little bit. What I'm getting at this whole rant was that as I want to look at these constructively as a deck builder and see what kind of innovations the Japanese side is doing, and based on what I think I would have done if I was in the blind as well. Because realistically, once I get to the point where I'm at the cutting edge with the Japanese meta, these guys are going at the same time that I'm going. I do have to make decisions, and I have to assume that my decisions, I don't have the gift of foresight like I've had throughout the last 2 years of Wixoss. I have to make decisions, and they have to be correct. So I think it's a good practice. But as a deck builder, here's my gut thoughts, thinking about arts in general. The big format change is that you have arts, right? And these arts theoretically take the place of what do you call it? Of your assists. We know this to already be true, right? Just looking at WeCrossBox and looking at like locals, their local events as well as their GP events. Like this is one of them. Just put it out here, right? We know that there's no assists anymore. Assists are gone, right? And I kind of thought that was going to happen as soon as I heard that the arts were being introduced into the format. But like, I thought it was going to take a little bit longer. I thought mixed was probably going to be the best way to go, and then it ended up being like not very long at all until apparently arts get taken out completely, right? This is the first place winner from the last GP that just happened in Japan, which I think is probably a good jumping off points. Arts have been in the format for long enough that I can look at this and kind of take some decent results out of it. The reason why I think it didn't take very long at all for arts to just completely take over. Thanks for the battery saver. Completely take over. Oh, I gotta plug it in. That's actually a really good, really good thing to pop up. I'm back. So the reason why I don't think it took very long at all for arts to just completely take over all assist chains is because the limit uppers, right? Like the things that allow you to basically go into your turn 3 with being able to do a 3-3-2 split, right? That used to be a contentious thing in Wecross because you'd have to basically always on turn 3 or turn 2 defense grow one of your assists to ensure you can make your 3-3-1 splits. That just sort of gets rid of it, right? Like it doesn't matter anymore. You get your limit upper, you get the splits, which I think fundamentally changes a game of Wecross's pace. The other thing that's important to note, right, is that because you just have more attack phase timing things, it just means more interaction. And look, guys, as a Magic player, I can tell you straight up, interaction is the most important part of a game of cards, right? Like the more opportunities for interaction you have, the better you can play against your opponent. I personally, as a card game player, designer, whatever thought process is, I like limited interaction, which is still limited interaction because it's still only attack phase timing. But I know as a card game player, the more chances you have interaction, the better it is, right? And also, generally speaking, the more leaned towards control setups there are, right? It's not like aggro can exist in a world of Wecross now, right? But it means it's harder for it, I think. It's not like aggro didn't exist. There was aggressive assist lines and very aggressive pieces that existed in Wecross. We just eschewed them for something else, which was some more defensive stuff and to allow more opportunities to do better angles of attack by extending the game longer, basically. Wecross has always been a pretty defensive game because of life bursts, and now I think it's even more defensive because of attack phase timing for arts. The one thing that I thought may have been a genuine, like toss-up for for there to be, what do you call it, longer? For there to be aggro or mixed stuff in longer was because assists theoretically did more than attack phase arts did. Although this is stating, basically showing me that I don't think that lasted very long, right? The Machina line or the Madoka line do a lot in their small amount of like predetermined chain that you can do. But pieces are like game-winning strong, right? For almost for like one enter, right? So theoretically there is a reason to use them. However, if you can't utilize the power of pieces because you just get shut down by even more attack phase timing arts, yeah, it makes sense that the game's going to slow down a bit because of that. So that's, I think, something to be considering, right? Like, normally I deck build with the idea of how many turns does it take to win the game of Wixoss, and right now it's like turn 4, turn 5, right? You've got that narrow window to win. If that's moving down now to like a turn 7, turn 8, right? There's a lot more that you're going to need to do with your deck building of Wixoss. You got to build, first off, you need more level 3s, right? Because we're playing a longer game, thus it's not just mid-game that you're accomplishing, right? I was almost trending towards 10, even 8 level 3s in some decks, because it's like, well, why am I playing that many level 3s if I'm ending the game like on turn 3 anyways, right? So that's one of them. The other one is the limit uppers, which I think is pretty interesting, is because limit uppers allow you to basically go into turn 3. If I'm correct, and I've got to like relook at these, and then also if you guys are in the chat, you can shout at me if I say something wrong and correct me. That would be great. I would love that. But because of limit uppers, it's basically, I don't think you miss tempo anymore. And because of that, right, theoretically, that means that your turn 1 should be a level 1, level 1. Your turn 2 should be a level 1, level 2, level 2. And then after that, turn 3 onwards, it should be level 3, 2, right? That should be your optimum curve now, right? Back when we were playing in American meta, and it still is this way, you know, your goal is to be level 1 on turn 1, on turn 2, 2, 2, 1, turn 3, 3, 3, 1, turn 4 probably also 3, 3, 1, turn 5, 3, 3, 2, right? So the need of level 2s has probably gone up significantly, is my guess here. So I think that changes a lot of splits that we want to see in these things. I think my guess is that we'd see a distinctive increase on level 2s and decrease on level 1s. And then the other thing is, I think arts, generally speaking, have more colored costs associated with them. So because they have more colored costs associated with them, I feel like you're going to see that in the deck itself having not, I wouldn't say mono-colored, but I think it's probably going to be distinctly two-colored versus what we have right now, which is basically 5-colored piles of anything that you can think of. So I'm interested to see how my guess of those say to be. I'm interested to see my guesses if they turn out right or not, is what I'm trying to say, as a person who is primarily a deck builder. The one thing that I want to try to potentially do here is open up, and I guess I'll do it real quick and see kind of what happens. I'll just turn this off real quick just in case. This is my first time live streaming, so I don't want to mess this up if I made a mistake here. Yeah, so I'm going to go quickly to an AI program to help me out here. I know people have used AI or not AI kind of programs, but I think they can help sometimes, and sometimes I use them to help me with complicated math equations that I don't actually know. I'm not very good at math, guys. It's very, very clear opening, but I understand how math should work, right? So I think something I want to see is what I want my splits to be for level 1, level 2, level 3, in a deck building, right? Because it's very common notion to have 18 level 1s, like 6 to 8 level 2s, probably 6, even 5 is right. And then like 12 level 3s. So let's say we're drawing a bunch of cards. So let's figure out how many we're going to draw. I want to play... God, I can't type today. Play a deck with cards that are either level 1, 2, or 3. On turn 1, I want to play 2 level 1 cards. On turn 2, I want to play 2 level 2 cards and a level 1 card. Turn 3 onwards, I want to play 2 level 3 cards and a level 2 card. And so the shift, so I can do this. It's a 40... This is not going to give me an exact answer, but it'll give me somewhere to start. Card deck. I will have... I can explain the mulligan rule to AI, but usually it just gets lost in the sauce if I try to do that. So let's just say 40 card deck. I will have drawn, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I can potentially mulligan probably another 4 cards. So that will be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then potentially I'm drawing 2 cards off of like the limit up thing. So, and I'm just trying to make a rule of thumb here, so that would put me at 11, it would put me at 11 cards. I will have drawn 11 cards on turn 1, and then turn 2 I will draw an additional 2 cards. How many level 1s should I put in the deck, and how many level 2s should I put in the deck to always, not always, 95% chance always have the correct level cards on turn 1 and 2. Right, that should be enough information that I can kind of do some kind of mathy thing for me and figure it out. Yes, okay, so just give me the answer here. Optimization. Okay, what was the answer? I can help you do a spreadsheet, programming script, or determine. Please answer the question. I don't know why it doesn't want to answer the question. Oh god, it just wants to make me a script. Okay, so that's not gonna work. God, this is sometimes AI is great, and sometimes it is just not good. All right, so we can do our own kind of guesstimation here. Let's do a hypergeometric calculator on this and see what we got. All right, so we're gonna say turn 1, we've got 40. This is a population size. We're doing 11 cards on the opening hand size, and then we need to succeed getting 2 right of these level 1s. How many do we have if we do 14? My gut says that 14 is the right answer. Yeah, 14 is the right answer for level 1. Okay, so but how many level 2s do we need in order to get 2 level 2s on turn 2? We draw an extra 2 cards, so that would be 13 cards. 10? 10 is not actually enough. Like, you'd want to do 12 to hit it with a 90% accuracy, 95% accuracy. This is ignoring all dig, by the way, or like filtering that you can do. So, okay, so 12 is the answer there. And then if we were to say we were going to draw an additional 2, which would put us at 15 for turn 3, and then I also want to hit 1, right? Yeah, then 12 is still enough, but what if we go back down to 10? Yeah, 10 is still enough. Okay, so, and then I assume 8 is even still enough. Well, we need, what, 3? Because we'd have to do the other ones prior? Yeah, that goes way down then. 12? 12. Okay, so I wouldn't be surprised to see decks that run 14 level 1s, 12 level 2s, and then however much else is in a deck of cards at that point. Let me think here. 14 plus 12 equals 28. Thank you. so 28, and then 28. 26. So take away 40. 14 level 3s. Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised to see a split like that, right? Like, that seems not awful in terms of just options here, you know, to do with that kind of thing. Okay. I have done the math now. I wanted to figure out splits first before I looked at actual results here. So here we go. We've got that. I kind of want to see where we landed with these decks now. Okay. So this got first place at the most recent GP. Before I even look at what kind of a deck it was, let's look at splits. That's the thing that I don't have to translate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. No, so this is still using kind of old splits here. And then level 2s are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We do see an increase, though, on that one. And then level 3s are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we're not too far off with that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, 15. Cool. What about the other ones? Let's just look at the other ones splits before I move on to. We've got level 1s over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Interesting. 16, and then there's a bunch of spells in this one, so this one numbers are always going to be a little wacky. Oh, I got chat actually for a change here. That's cool. Yeah. I know. I am not too worried about figuring out all of the cards as they come in and keeping it like it in mind for what to do with those new sets coming in, but it will be a bit of a headache on trying to make that work. Anyways, where were we? So there's 16 level 1s, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we do see a distinct increase of level 2s, and then at the cost of level 3s for the spells here, which is kind of new. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, interesting. That's not exactly the way I would go. I am seeing an increase in level 2s, and also these two decks that I've seen are distinctly like, it's a white center, we've got white arts, or sorry, excuse me, blue center, blue arts, mostly blue deck, right? And same thing with the last one, which is this is mostly green, there's some black here, with mostly green arts and a black art. Yeah, so that thought process is good to see too, right? This is the first time I'm really looking at these. I was very, very tunnel visioned on the last GP and not looking at anything in the future really. Okay, so let's see what we've got here as well. Again, mostly green with a 12, looks like 12 level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13, 14, 15, 16 now. 16, I don't know how to math. 16 level 1s. And the level 2 split is 8, with another level 3 split of being, or level 3 split is 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay. Yes. I'm seeing my gut isn't completely wrong, which I'm actually genuinely pretty thrilled to see. And then this one is, it has a limit upper. I believe this is the limit upper of choice here. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 arts. So yeah, limit uppers as well here. Girls win gold?
Yep.
All right, good job, America. We're watching the Olympics. Okay, so what were we seeing here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 here for level 1s. And then are there some other level 1s hiding? Yeah, right here. So 12, 13, 14. Okay, so this is cutting down on level 1s to make room for a ton of spells. And then level 2s, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? I'm seeing them right? So this is something that's new that you wouldn't be doing as a deck builder in Wixoss right now in America. You would not be cutting level 1s for spells. You'd be cutting either level 3s or level 2s. Specifically probably level 2s because they were the most useless card number in the game, and now they're not. I don't think they're that useless here. In fact, I'm probably overstating the power. Right, I could see why you'd want 16 level 1s and then like 8 or 10 level 2s. With filtering, you should be able to hit your level 2s anyways, and you have a limited number of filtering on turn 1, so you need to ensure you hit your level 1s, and it's not a huge failure if you hit a level 1 instead of a level 2 on your turn 3 or 4, right? So it makes sense, but I do think it is important to see that there's a lot more level 2s kicking around now. Okay, cool. That's good to know. I'm interested to see that. So I did jump ahead, right? This is the most recent one that literally happened like 2 days ago in Japan. They don't even have it up on their actual main. I probably should have waited, but I really didn't want to. Oh no, this is the American one. Look, we've got American names here. That's very cool. Whoa. Clicked the wrong button. They didn't even have it like on this main page where they have the events. I did skip ahead. This is the second one that came out, and my reasoning was mostly because I think Arts was only publicly available in Japan for like a limited period before this GP, so it feels like even this is just, and it's like not even full Arts, right? This is probably limited information I can grab from this. This feels like they've been working with it for a little while now, and they're, oh god, I'm clicking literally all of the buttons that aren't the right one. This seems like they've been cooking with it for a while, so they can actually check stuff out. Yeah. I don't disagree. I don't understand why the starter decks are a 12-12-12 split. I also don't understand on their website they often have like the like sample deck lists, and you look at them and they're all like a ton of new set stuff, which makes sense, right? You can't do the old set, but then also like the limit numbers are wackadoo there as well. Okay, so let's look at what this deck is, right? I kind of want to see how it works, and I've got this again, like I said, I've got the other GP up, but I'm really not going to seriously look at it that hard because I just don't think it's worth it. I think this one is probably, they've cooked for a while. They know what they're doing. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. Limit was literally the first thing I was thinking about when I was like, oh, the new thing is these limit uppers. If it really is just free to get new limit uppers, then great, we can do that. I want more level 2s then. All right, so let's look at what Hitoe does. Because I've only kind of looked at the spoilers. Where are you, Hitoe? Oh, they've got them split like this now on the website, 0 through 3. Okay, that's just not what I was looking at. All right, so here's Hitoe. As you guard, you may put one plant signy from your enter zone into the trash instead of discarding a card with guard in it. Conceptualizing. Yeah, it seems good. I like Nova, right? Like, it's like a Nova-esque ability. You basically always have a guard live, but this one can't be discarded, and you just need to pay enter for it, because assuming you're playing just mostly a plant-based deck. And then and then it's the vegan deck. It's mostly plant-based. Yeah, I think you end up with that being pretty easy to basically just say attack phases. Elrig attacks don't exist anymore. I mean, Tom is the counter. I learned that the hard way when I played my 2-hour match against Hannah in one of the GPs. And then its other once per game ability is that each player puts all cards from their hands into their enter zone. Then you add up to target one card from your enter zone to your hand. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. That means you can super enter charge, which is pretty nice, but more importantly, that puts more plants in your enter, so you can guard more. Okay, so this is already telling me a kind of deck I'm interested in playing, which is like, yeah, it is like Liz, where you can just do it. It's unlimited Liz, because Liz can only do it twice or 4 times depending on the piece before they're like, all right, I can't guard anymore. This lets you unlimited Liz, which is pretty cool. I think the other cool thing is, again, you get plants in your enter zone by doing this, and I assume plants probably interact with the enter zone pretty hard, since this is more of a plant-based thing. Putting all your cards in hand kind of stinks to get rid of it, but that you theoretically could just play out your hands anyways and play this when you're low on cards in hand, and it really doesn't affect you very much, especially if you have some kind of draw engine going. I know that it was using the like level 3 plant that was like introduced in this format, right? So okay, cool. So let's see what this is. Auto during your opponent's turn. Whoa, interaction! It's so crazy to see interaction. Once per turn, when a level 2 or higher plant signal leaves the field, target up one plant in your enter zone, put it on the field. Right, its enter abilities do not activate. Okay, so already you're like, all right, as long as you're enter charging, you're good. This is the deck that also can run Chirin, right? So Chirin's a plant, so you've got some enter charge abilities. All right, so we're looking at slow the game. We're walling up kind of thing here, which is pretty good when you've now introduced arts that also allow you to slow the game down. So that's pretty cool. At the beginning of your attack phase, if there's a Hitoe, all right, so it is a partner Signy, then you target up to 3 Signy on the opponent's field. You can pay an amount of green equal to the combined level total for those. If you do, you put those Signy into the enter zone. There's a Hitoe on your field, target up to 3. Okay, so it's kind of annoying because you basically have to pay 8, right? But then you can vanish everything. But you can already, if you just drew a bunch of cards, and then you use Hitoe's once per game to put all of your cards from your hand into the enter zone, then you basically pay for it, right? And if the games are going longer, you assume Signy are being vanished, and thus there's just more enter resources to go around instead of the tight enter race that we're currently in America's Wixoss. So, yeah. I think calling it greens, the opponent can't Xeno. Oh, can't Xeno against Hitoe's once per game. Yeah, I agree with that. That's pretty crazy. But isn't there an art now that like allows you to draw 3 cards? Just like it's just an art you can play that just lets you draw 3 cards straight up. Like you don't have to. It lets you draw 3 cards or enter charge 3. Someone fact check me on that one. I thought I saw a spoiler about that. So even though you can't Xeno it, which you'd have to be running a team anyways to Xeno, which I don't think you want to be running assists anymore. So I don't think Xeno is what you want to do with it. I do feel what you're saying. That's an easy solution to this, but isn't there anymore. And yeah, I don't know. Calling it Exia is probably correct. It seems like it could even be theoretically a little better than Exia, because Exia you can target and misdirect and then kind of do your thing that you need to do. This, you can't really do that. You just kind of need to waste resources to get it over with. And if there's 3 of them, how does that work if it's 3 of them? It's once per turn, right? When a level 2 or higher plant leaves the field, target up to 1 plant signy. So you get both of those to trigger. It's once per turn, which means that they don't... Yeah, it's just once per turn, so that's just a no-go, right? So the upside on Exia is that you can shut down 2 lanes, whereas this, you can't shut down 2 lanes. You just basically, if you put both of these out, you only get to fill in 1 lane, unless they do something that opens a lot of lanes all at once, like 3 lanes, like almost like a Hitoe allows you to do. Oh my goodness! That's, I suppose, an option there. All right. What else is in this winning deck list? This one I know. I like Danger Noodle over here. I don't exactly know why it's in the deck, but maybe we'll find out. This one's the one that allows you to like super enter charge, I think. It's never really had a function. Let me go into it. Let's see. Colors, green. Levels, 3. Type, Signy. Search. This card already exists, I think. It's just, this is a promo. So where does it exist at? Where is it? I don't know what's here. This is kind of always the annoying part of looking at the Japanese deck lists. You basically need to decode as you go forward with it. Where are you? You're it, right? You're the one? You're the one? I think that's the one. It's a Brave, though. So it's not a plant like I thought it was, right? Am I crazy? Is it that one? No, it's this one. It's this one, which is a plant. Wow! When paying an enter cost during your attack phase, use the cards. The cards underneath can be paid as if they were in the enter zone put into your trash. Only enter cards up to cost up to 3 can be paid with this in 1 turn. Okay, so you can use it multiple times, but you can only do costs up to 3. At the beginning of your attack phase, put the top 2 cards of your deck under the Signy. You place them face up. Cool. So it basically is, you can kind of pay. It's enter charge 2. It's weird enter charge 2. That's fine. This deck clearly wants to enter charge. And it's also when paying enter costs during the attack phase. So you can use it for guards if this isn't vanished, which is cool. When the Signy leaves the field, put target card that was underneath the Signy from your trash to the enter zone. Okay, so then it also enter charges. Yeah, and it's a plant. I can see why it would be used. I don't think it's the most efficient way to get enter, and clearly they don't either because it's only 2 of. I don't know why Danger Noodle's in there. Let's see here. I call it Danger Noodle, but I know it's like the other thing that I call is Pasta Type Dre, and I know it's Patra. Green, add target Signy from your enter zone to your hand. Black, you can get something from green from the trash and put it onto the field. Okay, so is it just like just card advantage? Just green card advantage. Then of course you can do the action, pay a colorless, and give negative 10,000. Give a Signy negative 10,000 power, but this is only if it's at 20k. Is there a way to pump it in this deck? I don't know, but that would be interesting if there was. Okay, 4 guards, we know that. Then there's this, which I think is called Lavender, right? Lavender. Where are you? Where are you? And I'm so sorry. Here's Lavender. When the Signy leaves field outside of your main phase, you can pay colorless, colorless. If you paid colorless, colorless, put target Signy from your trash that was underneath this Signy into the field down. Okay, so it's just more walling. With the other walling that you can do, you can also just be like, no. just keep walling, right? Okay, sure. This is just redundant walling. The enter abilities of that do not activate if you do not pay the colorless, colorless, however. You can add that card to your hand. So it's walling or card advantage. It's costly card advantage because you gotta pay colorless, but sure, if the game's going long, that's fine. Enter, put target Signy without a guard from your enter zone under the Signy. Okay, so you lose an enter by doing it as well. Oh no, it's not costly. It's just basically it costs 1 enter and then you can pay 2 enter to replace it. If you don't, you just put the card into your hand. And it's got a fine life burst at vanish target Signy on your opponent's field with power 7,000 or more. I don't love that one, but if the games are going longer, it suddenly becomes pretty good. Jack Bean's counter is Jack Bean's, well designed. Yeah. Thank you guys for doing it. I'm like, I don't know, 10 seconds ahead of you guys, so I'm already searching by the time you guys give me the answer. Yeah. It's funny to see. It's funny to see that being the counter for it. It's kind of like how Miko fan was the counter for Miko fan. I mean, it's not explicitly the counter, but like in the matchup where the opponent puts Miko fan out, right? Like it is beneficial to then also play a Miko fan and be like, none of us have hands then. That's how we're playing this game. No one gets to hold cards in hand. Like to the point where even like in testing, if I couldn't put a 3/3/1 field out because I somehow didn't grow against my Miko mirror, I would leave an open lane so I could still put double Miko fan out. Otherwise, I would lose that game. So yeah, sometimes the counter to the powerful card is just the powerful card. Then moving on here, I don't know if this new one is this one that looks like a bug. I assume that is new. Is it this one? No. Oh god. Is it this one? Oh god. Okay. Dexus, save me! What is the bug-looking one? I don't see it here on Dexus. But oh god. Someone will message it. Don't worry, someone will say it. Someone will say what that one is, and then I'll just go back to it in a second. I guess I kind of want to try to look at the arts as well to see what the arts do, right? Like, it's kind of weird that I just kind of skipped it. I know this one. This one is right here, this colorless one. That is Bell Cricket from P1. Thank you so much. You guys are so much smarter than me. This is why I'm going to have to do this on live stream every time. You guys will help me along, and that's what I need. I know this one is look at the top like 8 cards of your deck, put 1 card to hand, and that seemed to be what like pretty much all of them are running to as their limit upper piece. Not with Tabitha on the field, then it's free. Oh yeah, Tabitha would pay for the costs of Lavender. Yes, that makes sense. Okay, so let's look at what these pieces do. Sorry, pieces. They're definitely arts. Bell Cricket from P1. Okay. Oh, I can just type Bell, right? I can just actually type it in here. Because Dexus is awesome. Bell. Okay, let's just take off the level 3 thing. Because maybe it doesn't exist yet. Oh, it could be not from Bell Cricket. Yeah, look at that. Oh, it's a black card. It's a black card. Didn't know that. Okay, so it's a black card. Insect. You guys are amazing. Constant is the Signy in front of this gets negative 2,000 power during the attack phase. Its auto is the beginning of each player's attack phase. All Signy on your opponent's field with power 10,000 or lower lose their abilities till end of turn. Huh. The beginning of each player's attack phase. So it kills like Exia and stuff like that. As long as you put this in front of the Exia. That's cool. This is a cool one. When did black start vanillaing out things? I thought that was just in the existence of white. Cool. Yeah. That's cool. Alright, so, and then its life burst is choose 1, target ups, and it gets negative 15 or draw a card. Okay. Cool spell. Cool thing. I bet that's good against the other decks that also are like that. I'm sure. Yeah, in this one. I'm sure that's a little bit of a self-counter right there. That's cool. Alright. we're looking. We're trying to look at these arts. That was the goal. Still look at the arts. Okay. So, artsy fartsies. Clear. Arts. Let's specifically make green arts for a little bit. See what we can find. All right. This first one is the shield. I think that's the block 3 or block 2 Signy from attacking one. I think I've spoilers. I looked at the arts a little bit. Use timing, attack phase, total up to 2 Signy, and or Elrig. Cool. The next time they would attack this turn, you could just disable that attack. So they still get their attack phase effects, but you disable the attack, it stops damage. It's 3 enter. As long as you're enter charging a bunch, I guess that doesn't matter too much. Also, it's a 3 enter to stop 2 damage is on rate, so that's perfectly fine. Let's look for this one. That's this one, right? Target 1 Signy on your opponent's field of power 8,000 or less. Put it into the enter zone during attack phase timing as well. Yeah, that's fantastic. Great. I love those. The quick ones. Recollect 4. Recollect, if you guys don't know what that is, that means as long as you've got, I think, 4 things in your trash, 4 Elrig cards in your trash, it also gains that additional ability. Someone in the comments tell me if this counts itself. I don't think so, because it stays in the check zone while its effects are happening, right? So it's not like you need 3 in the trash and this counts as its 4th, right? I think it only works for your 5th and 6th arts that you play. Recollect 4. Instead, target 1 Signy on the opponent's field and just put it into the enter zone, period, right? Cool. That's strong, yeah. I mean, I see no reason for that to be strong. If I'd want to play just 15 of those if I could help it. Let's see. Then that's going to be definitely from the new set. This is going to be definitely from the new set, and this is black. Okay, so let's look. This Dexus as of right now does not have the new set on it, which is why you may be wondering why I'm not using that for specifically this. I have no blames for Hellfire. Hellfire has a lot of data that they need to crunch and the videos to put out, so just give it a week or 2. I asked them, they said it's coming out, so that's cool. Okay, so this is like 2 enter, and this one, that has the art. All right, cool. Dark Miasma, use timing as main phase. Okay, so this is basically your quote-unquote piece replacement. Target up to 2 Signy in your trash that share a color with your center Elrig, so your Bell Crickets or whatever. Cool, not your Bell Crickets, sorry, your Jack Beanstalk one. And then add them to your hand. Target 1 Signy on the opponent's field gets negative 20k. Yeah, it kills most things. And then your opponent... Oh, choose up to 2. Okay, so you get to choose 2. Your opponent puts the top 10 cards of their deck into their trash. Okay, so it's just mill. It's a free mill damage, especially if the games are going to like turn 7 or 8 now. So yeah, it's free mill damage plus gets you either card advantage or opens up a lane. Both of those things are quite strong. They're not piece strong. They're close to piece strong, right? Like Chaos is similar in power to that. I'm interested. Yeah, I'm interested in that. Main phase, I don't know. I'd be looking for all attack phase things if I could help it. All right, let's look at the new cards. That's going to be in the wiki for arts. So this one. Hey. So no enter. Put target Signy on the opponent's field. Power 10,000 or lower, and put it into their enter zone. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. You can reveal up to 2 plants among them, put in your hand. Okay, so this is basically your draw. No, it's not your draw 2 replacement, but it is your vanish replacement in terms of like what assists do. So that's cool. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot for little, and it's a main phase. I'm sure I read that it was main phase. I'm sure that's not main phase. 4 enters a lot. What do you got? Shuffle all the cards in your deck. In your trash into your deck, and then add the top card of your deck to your life cloth. Okay, so that's basically just to mitigate some damage while simultaneously stopping the other mill out decks from milling you out, since you're going to turn 8 anyways, and you're also probably spending a lot of enter, so you probably have a lot of stuff in your trash. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Checking the comments. It's specifically that many other arts in your trash. It won't count the exceeded cards. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, you do have to basically play nothing but arts. It rewards you for playing an arts-based deck. So even though we said mixed is cool, the designers were like, mixed is cool. Here's all the support for playing nothing but arts. Man, Wixoss wants to support a single thing, and they're like, this is a new optional thing you can do. Like with Disona or any of the tribes that they bring in. They're like, this is an optional thing you can do, except it's also the most powerful thing that you possibly can do, so why would you do anything else? Okay. Weird. Choices. Sure. Cool. Yeah, okay. All of those make sense. This potentially pumps Danger Noodle over here. That combo's already existed in Wixoss. Good to see it again. None of these really... I think all of these are new cards. I think most of these are new cards. So I guess I'll try to go find them real quick. Start here. I guess we'll start with the new set. That's the easiest way to try to find these cards, right? So level 1 green. I clicked, and did I find the right card? Yes. Great. As long as there's a plant signaling your enter zone, this gets plus 3,000 power, so it's 5k. Yeah, 5ks are cool. At the beginning of your main phase, swap this Signy with one other level 2 plant into your enter zone. Okay, I'm really happy to see that my gut response of trying to add more level 2s clearly showing up here. So this is basically a level 1 that can be a level 2. That's cool. I think that's sweet. And then it's life burst is enter charge. The next time you take damage from a Signy this turn, so you don't take damage. Okay, cool. At the beginning of your main phase, swap this Signy and up to 1 level 2 plant from your enter zone. Okay, so it's basically just a secret level 2 that also is a level 1 when you need it to be a level 1. Yeah, cool. That's good. So many plants. This one doesn't look familiar. Nope, it is familiar. There it is. Okay, so Bonsai, natural plant. Level 1, power 2000. Whenever the Signy attacks, there's another plant on your Signy on your field, enter charge 1. Okay, that's good. I've always jokingly complained about how one of the missing elements for green to be a good deck is a level 1 that enter charged you when it attacks. Simple as that. There really is like a set formula of how to make green good, and all of its stuff revolves around circulating cards through the enter. So a level 1 that enter charges you is just the right way to get started. So, okay, cool. I understand why that card is included. And then, let's see here. Flower Arch. That does not look familiar. Right? That does not look familiar. Okay, so we're looking for a red card? Red card. Basically, let me guess. Discard a plant from your hand and vanish target Signy power 5,000 or lower. The beginning of your attack phase, you may put a plant Signy from your enter zone into the trash. If you do, vanish Signy on the opponent's field with power 5,000 or less. Well, I got close. Got pretty close. This is an enter-hungry deck, man. But I guess plants can feed plants, so that's probably fine. I can see why the top end gives you so much enter. Yeah, so far. Just sort of new. It's like there's a missing element so far that I haven't seen, and it's red, so it must be this one. Alright, level 2 green, and also as a plant. Let's see. This one. No? Yes. Okay. Level 2, 5,000 power. Has a very simple thing at the beginning of your attack phase. If there's another plant on your field, you enter charge 1. Okay, so I guess you don't need Sheeran. You can just play this instead. Sure. Yeah, why not? And it's an auto. So, great. That's even better if you somehow have to swap it in there from your enter. I don't think the attack... I don't think the timing works in the way that I want it to work for that. But, you know, cool. It allows enter abilities. Which one allows enter abilities? Oh! The plant swapper, the level 2 plant swapper. That's cool. So you can double down on your effects. That's a great point. Yeah. Cool. I love enter abilities. So wait. Can you combo that? Can you combo that? Is it possible to combo that with what do you call it, with Hitoe? That's a level 0. You can't combo that level. That 0 is pretty though. You can't combo with anything. Okay. No. Jack the Beanstalk. That's the one that I'm trying to combo with, right? Jack Beans. It's such a funny name. Whenever another level 2 or higher plant leaves your field, you can put up to a level 1 plant from your enter zone and put it on the field. Its enter abilities do not activate. However, you can combos. However, if they do that on their main phase, then is that the beginning of your attack phase? Don't ruin my combo recross. I know you are so allergic to combos. Don't ruin it for me. Is this the one? Is this the one that swaps? At the beginning of your main phase, you'd swap this Signy with a level 2. I guess it combos still. If it somehow survives the attack step, then you can combo it. But no, it doesn't combo the way I was hoping. You know, this is me getting excited to do things on my opponent's turn. All right, black. Black and probably also, yeah, Dead Leaves. Definitely that one. Cool. I love me some Dead Leaves. Level 2, 8,000 power. We like those. It's Life Burst. You may pay and enter. I don't think I love those in this deck, because this deck feels very enter hungry, but maybe it's also enter chargy, so it's fine. At the beginning of your attack phase, you may down this up to Signy. If you do, put target plant from your trash into the enter zone. Oh, so this just is a weird enter charger. At the beginning of your attack phase, you may down this up to Signy. If you do, you can put target plant Signy from your trash into the enter zone. Oh, cool. It allows you to also... Green really likes to be able to pull specific toolbox cards out of their enter zone. This allows you to toolbox. Green's natural foil, in my opinion, is black for this reason. That's a cool card. Is it a 4 of? Damn, 4 of. Okay. Let's figure out what these other... yeah, it's beginning of main phase. Yeah. I'm freaking out. You guys already know the answers to the questions as I'm freaking out about it. But you got my first reactions for things. That's so fun. Okay. Let's keep going. There's only this last one to figure out, right? Thank you, Deck Builder, for making it so simple as this is just basically what came out in the last set. This one looks like space. It looks like a Cosmos one. I don't think I've seen this one before, and then this one we've already figured out. So let's just go ahead, and I don't know if you guys can even see my cursor as I'm going over things, so I'm pointing at things and it's like, makes no sense. It's the level 3s here in that middle slice. Alright, let's go look to see if this is just a Japanese card that I've never seen before. So it's still black. Signy, not an arts, level 3. This one? That looks correct. So it's a demon. At the beginning of your attack phase, put the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck into the trash, so it helps you mill. You're already milling them 10, so 13 cards theoretically should be enough, but if you're going long, I mean 10 cards should be enough. You can recollect 5, which you could do in this deck, instead of put the top 5, so that's definitely a refresh on that front. Then you get to choose one, put target up to Signy for burst. Choose target up Signy and kill it, or draw a card. Yeah, okay, so this is basically just Arts Phalaris at the beginning of your attack phase, which is better than Phalaris and the other one, which has to attack in order to trigger. Yeah, cool. Arts Phalaris, I like it. Phalartsis. Can we just do that? Can we just call it Phalartsis? No one's gonna like that joke. No one's gonna like that joke. I renege that joke. It's a bad joke. Don't take it seriously. What else do we got here? Is this newer card that came out? Not on Dexus because it's the new set. That looks to be true. Okay, so then it's probably one of these two. Labyrinth or Evil Queen. Let's go with Labyrinth first. Nope. Evil Queen. No, that's still Labyrinth. Hades. Oh god, it's probably not a black card then. It's probably a white card. Oh god, I'm just gonna let you guys tell me it. You guys are smarter than me. What is this card? Someone write it down in the comments down below. What is the spaceship looking card? It might be blue. I don't want to search all that stuff. You tell me while I look at the next deck, and then I'll look at it. Overall impressions for this deck that we're looking at right here. Yeah, I can see it's definitely a stall deck. It definitely has the ability to tutor up specifically what it needs and kind of just push damage through. So yes, I like this deck. I can see why I got first. It also got fourth, right? It also got fourth, or no, third. This one's got more. This one's got more of these lavenders. Damn, these guys have better. I don't deck pimp like they do. They've got like all the super rares. Not me. I'm cheap. I'll never have the super rares. You can guarantee that. I think this one's Wigona, right? I haven't seen that in fucking a million years. That's cool. P1 green Signy. Okay, wait. Wait, really? That's a green Signy? That's a green Signy? The new set? No, it's P1. Okay, okay. Dexus knows those things. Set. P1. Green. Not black. Do the search button. It is green! See, this is why deck pimping is wrong, guys. It throws me off. I can't see what color it is because it's I think it's a genuine complaint to be like, I can't see what color it is. I don't love that. I'll take my lumps. Thank you, Riz, for helping me out there. At the beginning of your attack phase, target it is a Cosmos though. At the beginning of your attack phase, target one Signy on your opponent's field with power 10,000 or higher. You may put 2 level 1s from your enter zone to the trash. If you do, you can vanish. That's Signy. Okay, so it's just a basic vanish stuff. Enter. Look at the top card of your deck. If it's a level 1 Signy, you get to enter charge. So you roll the dice that you're going to enter charge with it when it enters in this specific deck. And it's got a fine life burst. Okay. UFO thingy. You got it. That's it. UFO thingy. Otherwise known as Cademy. Natural planet. It's definitely a star, right? Cademy is definitely a star that you can find in the galaxy. They're pretty good at that stuff. Okay, okay. We were looking at the differences in this one. And there's not much to be found as far as differences. I guess this one is different here, this part. Let's look at it. Do my due diligence here. It's so weird because I am so used to recording videos that I have this mentality of like that I need to be more like on the spot with things I'm talking about, but that's not how live streams go. No one watches a live stream expecting it to have like good cuts and that everyone is on point for talking. It's just like a chill hangout session. I'm still trying to get through with my head here and not be like, all right, I have to rush. Okay, what is this one? That is like, this one, it's a punchy one, right? Okay, punchy. Running at full speed. Naruto run. Main phase. Choose up to 2 for 2 enter. You can enter charge 3, target 3 Signy from your enter zone, put them to the field. They all get maximum power of 5,000 extra. And then at the beginning of your next attack phase, target 1 Signy gets S Lancer to launch. Alright, so I probably would be using, I wouldn't be excited to enter charge 3 here, but I could do it in a pinch. Outside of that, I'd rather just steal 3 Signy from my enter, put them on the field, and then give one of them S Lancer. That feels like the best use for that, but you can also just make it S Lancer and enter charge 1. Sure. Yeah, I can see the appeal to it. I can see why the first place player didn't necessarily go for it. Okay, all these cards are things. There's amino acid. I guess they were worried that there might be some negative effects kicking into a round that makes it. I think this has probably been very clearly a green-based GP. So I don't know if there was really negative effects that were really kicking around. Outside of that, pretty much everything else is the same. I'm really excited to see the Wigona. Am I saying that right? It's probably not even Oigona. It's probably the other one. It's been a long time. I know it enter charges, and then or you enter charge, and then it gets the ability to vanish things. I liked it. I ran it for very many years. It's one of the few green cards that I thought was pretty good. Cool. Good to see that. Let's go ahead and translate to English real quick for me. So Pierre Luc is over here, and then there's also Akira. Akira's the Muser thing, right? Yeah, it's a Muser's, right? And a Muser's whole ability is like, oh, are they on the bottom of your deck, or are they played out now? I think, right? I think that's their whole thing. We'll find out in a second, won't we? Okay. I like that kind of things. I don't know if it's good, and it might be good here finally, but Akira. Is it Akira or is it Aki? I've always just, because the anime called her Aki. Aki Lucky. When this Elrig attacks, you can put an Amuser Signy on your field. From your field in the bottom of its owner's deck. If you do, you draw a card. And damage your opponent unless your opponent discards 3 cards from their hand. Alright. You seem to know what cards I like to play with, Wixoss. I like to be aggressive, and I like you not to have cards in hand. I didn't enjoy playing Miko one bit. Yeah, it seems good. It seems like the game plan is probably make your opponent not have cards in hand, and then damage them. Yeah, that seems very strong. Although you do lose a Signy at the beginning of your attack set, but Musers, I think, fill the field in for you, so it's not that big of a deal. Once per game is I'll crush you. If there are 3 or more cards in your hand than the opponent's hand, then you get to vanish target Signy on the opponent's field. If there's less than 3 cards in your opponent's hand, or if there's less cards in your hand than the opponent's hand, your opponent discards 3 cards from their hand. Yeah, it seems good. I no complaints on either side of that. Yeah, and you're in charge of when you pull this effect out, and also because of that, then you're also in charge of which side it does. So the Punisher effect, I think they call them Punisher effects from Magic the Gathering, which is you give your opponent a choice, and then when they make the choice, both sides of the choice punishes them. However, Punisher effects in card games have always been pretty bad, because by giving your opponent a choice, they always take the lesser of the evils, and it never puts you in a great position. Punisher effects, yeah, that's it. And then this one is not really a Punisher effect, because you're in charge of it. That was like my one big problem with Miko was like, my opponent would either make me discard, or would either discard cards, or I would draw cards, but I wasn't really in charge of it, and I could manufacture fields where that ended up being always right, but it never felt great to do. So this one, not actually a Punisher effect. Great, cool. So you can do either one. You can either vanish an opponent's Signy, or you can make them discard 3. Both options, really good. Okay, cool. I like this. We need to draw a bunch of cards. We need to discard a bunch of cards from the opponent, and we need to fill out our fields during the attack phase timing. How do we do that? Well, clearly one way is Exia, right? Like, it's so dumb, but that is one way. If we don't have a field, like if we're missing a hole, Exia can do a good job stemming damage bleed. So that's one way. I guess you could do it. Yeah, sure. I'll take it. Let's go look at what these assist lines are. Again, this one's the different one. I think this one's the draw 2, and then you get your limit upper. And I assume all of them had limit uppers. This one also had a limit upper. Yeah. Okay. So all of them played some form of limit upper. Good to know. I guess theoretically you could just say, no, I don't want to play limit upper and play another attack phase timing arts, but it's probably overkill if you do that. All right, we're looking at these arts now. Thank you guys for chatting with me, by the way. I really genuinely thought no one was going to watch this, and I was just going to be talking to myself and having a recording for later. Okay, arts. We're looking at blue arts this time. Let's see here. Blue arts. Search. Okay, what do we got here? We got the first one with her, what happens? Costs 1, and she's just like standing. Okay, so it's probably frozen gear, yeah. Okay. 1 cost, blue, use phase attack, phase timing, target Signy on your, or Elrig on your opponent's field, and down it. Okay, it doesn't freeze it, right? +4 for the recollect cost. Additionally, target a Signy on your opponent's field and down it unless they discard 3 cards. Okay, so we've established this deck. You don't have 3 cards in hand for the opponent if you're the opponent. Therefore, you don't, because you don't have the cards. This is just a down 2 for 1 enter, which is fantastic, right? Am I missing something? It's just fantastic. Okay, I like this deck so far. You're already selling it to me. There's an Aki. I'm assuming that's Aki because it's so pink. There's this one, which I think is the Miasma one we already looked at, that has the bunch of effects. Yeah, I can see the 2000 in the thing. So that's the mill. That's the draw a bunch of cards, which is good. You want to draw a bunch of cards, and you mill your opponent out for 10. And then it can also be removal. Great, cool. I understand what's going on there. Look at me memorizing cards. I'm going to need that if I'm going to play in Japan. Then we've got this effect. I'm sure that's Paraluke, because look at them sleeves. Paraluke's got sleeves for days. I think it's that one. Let me verify. I'm going to go with that one. If I'm wrong, oh well. Clear Minds. Use timing is main phase. You can choose up to 2. Target 1 Elrig on your opponent's field and freeze it. Target 1 Signy on your opponent's field, power 10,000 or lower, and put in the bottom of its owner's deck. Cool. And then draw 3. Okay, so it's basically, in this deck, probably always going to be a draw a bunch and then open a lane. I know you can freeze an Elrig. I don't know how good freezing an Elrig is if you're drawing a bunch, because then you theoretically should be able to get guards. But I don't see guard recursion in this, so maybe it's kind of like your 5th guard at that point. It's probably that. I'm probably overthinking it a bit. Okay, cool. And then this one's Aki, because there's pink in it. So we're gonna look at the new set that isn't on Dexys. Lock on. Is that one of them? Is that one of them? Oh god, it's not. Wait, maybe it is. Could be. Could be that one. Did lock on cost 1? No. Okay, I don't know if that one is then. But I will look for it in a second. Azure Wish. This one is pink. As you use this arts, you may put a blue arts from your Elrig deck into your Elrig trash. If you do, the arts cost on this is reduced by 3. Okay, so you can make something free with this one. That is cool. If you make it free, you get to down 2 Signy on your opponent's field with total power 5 or less. Total level 5 or less. Okay, so you can hit a 3 and a 2. Yeah, and I don't see why that one would be bad. You can also, you can't hit a 3 and a 3 ever, but you hit a 2 and a 2. So if you wanted to do this early, you could on level 2 and basically turn 2 and then basically have it. Seems like that's the not pay 3 is probably really important if you're playing against a dash deck, which I think those exist now. Also, probably not top placing, but those probably very much exist with the abilities of like I think there's a bunch of like pay 1, enter, crush your opponent's life cloth stuff right now. Okay, then what is this last piece? Or this last piece, art. I really gotta get used to saying that. This one that seems to have Aki's stuff here. Mystery, you guys will figure it out for me. Yes, a live stream. I know, it's crazy. I really don't want to edit a video on me looking at a bunch of deck lists and trying to figure out the Japanese meta and like unfurl it a little bit. I'm also gonna do live streams where I like literally play people who are playing the Japanese meta, so that way I can get used to play patterns. But I am first and foremost always going to be a deck builder first before I'm a player. Everything for me starts at the deck level. Therefore, I want to be good at deck buildings. And rely on it. Whenever I feel not confident about myself, I can be like, I'm not confident about myself, but the deck is good, so it should perform, right? One of you viewers, you guys are beautiful. Tell me what that card is that I'm missing. I don't think I missed one on here, but I very much might have in like a deck list or something. Lock on. I guess it can't be lock on, right? Because it's a 0 cost. So, all right, you guys will let me know, and I'll find out in a second. I'm gonna move on real quick. Okay, this is definitely Aki Lucky's signature card, right? So Signy, whatever, partner Signy, I guess that's what they call it. So I'll find out in a second what that does. Wait, there's more arts? Come on. Yeah. You guys are doing it. Okay. Let's look at it. Yeah, I might do some live streams where I kind of talk about GP Dallas a little bit. Because I'm like, it's in my periffs and I'm helping my team with it a bit. But I'm super in the periffs on that one. I think if I was going to say anything about GP Dallas, I think we're going to see a big showing of Blue Archive, partially in the same way that we saw a huge showing of Virtuals. I think people are just excited to play Blue Archive because Blue Archive is a cool game. I think it's a game, right? And it's also an anime now. People are excited. They really like Blue Archive. So I think people are going to play Blue Archive because of that. I think Blue Archive is good, but like I said, with Virtuals, I think that the comparison is apt because there's clearly a good Virtuals deck, and there's clearly Virtuals that people like to play because they're their favorite VTubers, and those both showed up in droves on either side. So I do think Blue Archive is going to see some significant showing. However, I'm just going to say it. I think Desona are still very strong, and the Elrig Desonas are still very good, and I think it would be crazy not to see maybe even 50% of Desonas in the top decks, the top tables there. So I think Desonas are going to age well enough into the Dallas GP anyways. All right, let's look at this. Look at the top 5 of your deck, reveal an amuser, add to your hand, then reveal an amuser. This is still main phase timing, okay. Add it to your hand, and the other amuser you put on the field. The rest go on the bottom in any order. Then target a Signy on the opponent's field and it gets negative 5,000, multiplied by the level of that Signy that entered for this effect. So, okay, so if you put a level 3 amuser, it's 15k. So this is one of those weird ones that you can do early game, and there's no real downside to doing it early game because it's gonna grow, right? If you do a level 1 amuser out there on turn 1, you're probably still killing a level 1, so that's still good. You did level 2, 10k should kill most 2ks, so you're still good. 2ks, 2 level 2s, and then if you do it on level 3, you can do negative 15, which is highest, which is nice. But yeah, there's no downside to play this early if you need to. Plus, look at her; she's gonna kick your ass. She's got bad face. It costs 0 enter, so yeah, cool. Tons of card advantage from this game. I like Akadillan saying, I like BA a lot because it also synergizes well with the older Elrigs like Madoka. Yes, I agree. I also think some of the Fisone Elrigs are actually not that great because they don't quite mesh well with the Desona Signy, and I think you have to play Desona Signy to get the power level that you want out of it. But when Blue Archive comes out, I think you should reevaluate it because the flexibility on those Fisone are very good, but then you can add the different playstyle that comes with Blue Archive. So I think Blue Archive's playstyle plays nicer with the Fisonas because Blue Archive, I think, probably rewards a more flexible player, and Fisona are flexible Elrigs. So there's your little tip, because I already may have recorded the decks list that I made of the Fisonas, the Elrigs, and I took a peek into the future, and I think they're pretty cool there. All right, jumping back to it. Oh yeah, partner Signy. That's what we were looking for. We were looking for the partner Signy, which I'm going to assume is third play queen. Yep, there it is. She's kicking your face with a pen. Pen spinning mantle. Okay. Auto once per turn during the attack phase. Does not say during your attack phase, so both attack phases. When an Amuser Signy leaves your field, you may put a level 2 or lower Amuser Signy from your hand into the field down. That Signy's abilities do not activate. Okay, I can see why this is less relevant than Jack. Beans! Because it's only triggering during the attack phase, which is good for you during your attack phase because that's when you have priority that the opponent really can't interact with. Bad because the opponent will have the entire main phase and also the what do you call it? The main phase and also the attack phase because they get the priority first to dismantle whatever combo you're trying to do prior to that. Okay, cool. Already have an opinion on that. It's good, but it's not as good. When the Signy attacks, if there's an Aki Lucky on your field, target a Signy on your opponent's field, and then you may put another Amuser from your field onto the bottom of its owner's deck. If you do, the targeted Signy gets negative 12,000 power till end of turn. And this is what triggers when it attacks. Okay. Understood. So this helps fill lanes. No, it doesn't necessarily help fill. Well, it kind of helps fill. Yes, it does help fill. Because if you have 2 of these out, you do Aki's ability first. Sweet. You get to fill in 1. And then when this attacks, you get to do the other one. If you don't do Aki's ability, you can do, if you have 2 of these out, you can do both of them. Which is cool. But a little weird. There is a little bit of weirdness there that doesn't completely fill in all the gaps. It doesn't counter itself like Jack Beans does. Cool. Following that one. Hey, this is the new one, right? That came out just a second ago. I kind of know what it does. Do I have it here? Showing it on. That's a reach over to my card and just read it. And then I realized you guys can't see that, so that doesn't help. Search. I had the door. That's way too far in the future. I had the door medium trickster. Okay, so this is a trickster, not a muser. When this Signy leaves the field outside of your main phase, you may pay blue and then put the bottom card of your deck into your trash, which you can set up with your abilities, with the musers. That's cool. Then at the bottom card is level 1, you can draw 3 cards. Then if it's level 2, your opponent discards 3 cards, and if it's level 3, you can vanish something on the field. If it's a spell, you can look at your opponent's hand and discard a card. Cool. And you can play it, and you get to look at the bottom of your deck, which I don't think is going to be super relevant in this deck, but sure, it's a nice little bonus. Playing blue, sure, that makes sense. You're going to be playing mostly a blue deck anyways. And then you get to choose to either make them discard 3 cards, target a guard and discard it, or vanish something, or draw 3 cards. Drawing 3 is pretty good. Discarding 3, I think, is probably pretty good for this deck. What does... This is me going back and forth again. What does Aki do again? Can Aki target anything? No, you have to put in a user. So this is basically, right now, as it stands, your opponent needs to vanish it for it to trigger. So it's like a punish effect on the opponent, on you vanishing the Signy. The Signy attacks, if it attacks, you can target a Signy on your opponent's field, okay? Then put a user into there. Okay, so far that we know of, you gotta target. You gotta target some. You gotta let your opponent target it. Okay. I know what this one does. I actually am a fan of this card quite a bit. This is the 8,000 power level 2. You can down it, and then you can put a target Signy from your enter into the field, which is cool. I often did that with Animirage, so I can put Animirage on it and then use Animirage's effect and kill something, because it doesn't disable their effects. Because you can rise above down Signy. That's the Wombo combo. I like it. It's also a muser. It makes sense why that would be a pretty good one. You can rebuy, you know, your partner Signy. Sure. Sure. All right, let's look at this. Is there any other level 3s I need to look at? No. Okay. I don't know what this one does. Level 2. Looks like it's a bunch of balls. Playpin balls. I should probably clarify what I mean by that. Water balloons? Never mind, they're water balloons! Perfectly round water balloons. I think water balloons are more of an egg shape. Not getting on the artist, though. Found it. Okay, level 2. During your attack phase, when the Signy leaves your field, you may put one level 1 amuser from your Signy from your hand into the field down. The enter abilities don't activate. At the end of your turn, if the Signy entered your field by effect this turn, you get to draw a card or discard a card. Cool. That's kind of cool. These things kind of like ladder down, like you do a level 3 and then you do like a level 2 and then you do like a level 1. I like that, I think. Amazing deduction. I know. I am piecing things together as it comes. I like when it's fresh. So not always the sharpest deduction over here, but fun deduction nonetheless. I can see why this is a glue piece, right? Because you basically need to have ways to fill lanes, and this is kind of like A plus B. There's always kind of, when you're deck building, a potential problem when you're working with A plus B to come up with C, you know, as your deck output is C, right? What if you draw all of A and draw none of B? What if you draw all of B and draw none of A? I assume this deck is trying to draw a metric crap ton of cards so that it is basically always online for drawing both of them, but you know, it's a concern sometimes with these types of decks, and I am seeing that as a potential weakness of this type of deck ahead of time over here. Moving on, we've got level 1. I assume this is a new card. I'm gonna go with Wind Chime. Yep. Amazing deduction abilities. Maybe that's what it was. You guys are saying amazing deduction abilities on my water balloon deduction. Whenever the Signy attacks, you may put another amuser Signy on your field to the bottom of the deck, and if you do, you target one Signy on your opponent's field. It's negative 5,000 until end of turn. Cool. That's cool. Yeah, I mean, even at worst, like, you can do it on turn 1 and open a lane and not have a way to stop really damage there, and just be like, yeah, I'm just making a damage play here. I don't hate it. Negative 5,000 is a lot. And in blue, negative 5,000 is a lot, so sure. I'm sure there's ways to fill in the lanes here other than that single card so far that I've seen to fill in lanes. Please tell me there's more ways to fill in lanes than that single card to put in lanes. We've got level 1s here. I've never seen them before. So, well, that one might be the door, right? Gazuko the door? Am I deduction man over here? Did I figure it out? I played so much Japanese meta. Yeah, it is the door! No, it's Visone! I'm wrong. Clearly she was in a bathing suit! Why did I think it was a door? Okay. Hey, she's an amuser! That's cool! Okay, she's an amuser. Alright. Guys, totally coming in live for these reactions. Hey, J-Feather, cool to see you, man. What's up, dude? Yeah, Fisone, here we go. I'm glad I get the 10-second delay so you guys can ridicule me on the chat, and by the time I find it and made my own mistake, it's all kicks in here and be like, you're wrong! Does it actually just say literally door in English? That's funny. I think that's so funny. I've always really loved Wixoss, specifically because of how, like, absurd they are with certain things, and then it's just like, as long as you get over it, like, you're like, yep, that's a treadmill. You're good to go. Kind of, it's like very funny coming from like a very serious Magic the Gathering background, and like my specific Magic the Gathering like grinder days were like in the 2000s to 2012s, right? So, like, Magic was it took itself very, very, it wasn't cowboy hats yet, and now people are, you know, magical creatures on off-brand Redwall set. This was very, very serious. Take itself very serious, world-ending fantasy. So to go into a card game where it's just like, no, those are water balloons. Great A. I am very happy for that kind of thing. You're thinking about whether you should spend more money on AS. Do it, and then tell me what's good, because that's what I need. People to tell me what is good and what's not. And then as far as all things shall be waifu. Yeah, why not? Why not? Enjoy it. Why not? I say this, I have my podcast with my waifu. I'm very happy. All right, so let's see. It is when the signet crushes a card in your opponent's life cloth, target one signet on your opponent's field, and then you may put the signet into your field into the trash. If you do, that signet gets negative 5,000 till end of turn. Okay, so you put this in an open lane, hopefully it kills something, then you kill itself, hopefully you refill it in, and then you're good. You pay 2 coins, which I don't know how you're getting coins in this deck, but sure, you can put the signet from the field into the trash. You can use this ability if the signet is not into your trash already. Cool. Have I rejected the pile of money? Yeah, okay, so the joke there is, guys, if you don't know, I don't get free hotel for going to Japan. I don't get free airfare. I would have liked the free airfare. I would have taken a cheap flight, but I didn't get it, which is fine. There's a very, very fair chance. I've never been to Japan yet. I'm trying to learn Japanese right now, and also I really want to go to Japan. I've always really wanted to go to Japan. It's never been in the books. So this is a good reason to kick my butt and actually go to Japan. Actually, finally got my passport, so I haven't really left the United States. But I am probably going to be there for a while. Like, I think I'm going to try to make a trip out of it, like be there for 2 weeks, try to go tour the country a little bit, maybe backpack a little bit, and then do the event. Because I really, 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 really want to see all of what Japan has to offer, and also just unabashedly do the weeb things that I've always wanted to do. But the one thing I do get is I give them a deck list, and then they just give me the cards, right? So theoretically, I could just not do this event well at all and only ask for a pile of money cards. I don't know if I get to keep the cards or not. I could just, I don't know, right? Like, this is the Tarmogoyf situation. Can I ask for all foil cards? Like, all super edition cards, and then just be like, thank you, this is my prize money, and then, like, sell it later? I don't know. I kind of don't want to give it back after I do it. Like, I placed well. I want this deck in existence. I want to put it on a shelf. I don't know. Could be cool. A vlog, there is very likely going to be a vlog. It will depend on some factors. I am very, 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 very vigilant on making sure that if I do a vlog, everyone is okay with being recorded. I also think there is some amount of statement to say that sometimes I don't want to see my world through the lens of a camera, and I want to see the world through the lens of, I guess, my eyeglasses, because I have glasses. But so there are going to be times that I want me times, and there are going to be times where I'm like, yeah, this is fine, we can vlog this, but I also want to make sure anyone who's going with me, because there seems to be a plethora of people who want to go with me, at least to just go to Japan and be at the event. I want to make sure that everyone's cool with that before I commit to a vlog. I like the idea of a vlog for this one, because it seems like a really special event that only a few people are going to go to, so it seems like, unlike a GP where everyone theoretically could go, right? And I could vlog that. This one seems like it would be kind of cool to have maybe someone with me who would vlog and then show it out to the world afterwards. But yeah, there is a thing. Print a sign that asks for permission in Japanese and carry it around. Yeah, I also don't know any of the recording rules in Japan. I know they're way stricter, so there's that as well. I also, I'll make an announcement here. You guys can hear about it because you're all here on the live stream. I commissioned the same person that made Tiffany her MC Lion hat. I commissioned a casual hoodie that looks like that looks like Dr. Tamago's like thing. Like it's got the puffs of fur and it's got like the dumb eyeballs like kind of hanging off there, and it's got like the teeth, and then like it's gonna have some claws on the like edges of it. And I will wear striped pants so that way I kind of look like Dr. Tamago at the event. I think it would be kind of a lot of fun to have that. Plus, I'm a big fan of like hoodies that are like kind of look dumb and like mascot-y anyways. So I've always like thought it would be cool to have a Dr. Tamago hoodie. But after winning after winning second at the GP, I was like, I want to do that. I think I want to have a dumb Tamago thing. Anyways, jumping back to this. Okay, and then this new one is definitely a new one, right? So it's probably first play Shadow Puppetry. Ooh, the art is so pretty on this one. Ooh, I like it. Tiffany, come see the art. I think I may have shown you this one already. Come see the art.
Which camera is on?
Oh, this camera is on. You don't want to be on camera?
Oh, not right now.
Okay, look at the art. Look at the art.
Oh, she's cute.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, I like that one.
Cool. I like the moon in front of it specifically, and then I don't know. It's good to have foreground and background play like interconnecting in art. All right, what does it actually do? You put this Signy from your field to the trash. You can put a level 2 or abuser Signy from your trash to the field. Okay, so it swaps things out, which means that you can replay your level 2. Okay, so I get it. It's a redundancy for this level 2 that is absolutely necessary so far for this deck to function. This is the most important card in this deck so far because it replaces itself when it gets thrown away. So it's a redundancy there. So it's basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of that. But it costs energy to do it. So right now, my major concern with this deck is there's not a ton of ways to place Signy onto your field with stuff. I guess that was their concern too, because we've got Trouble, right? Trouble is 2 enter, draw 3 cards. It feels like that's the reason for it, but it's probably not. It's probably because its Life Burst is down 2 Signys on your opponent's field. So if you have an open lane because you just didn't do the things right, then you can down two Signys on their first attack, and then you stop the other damage. So the lanes that were open never mattered at that point. That feels like an insurance grab there for that part. What does Bunny Charge do? Clearly one of the newer cards, so let's go back to here. Spell. Bunny Charge, other than being a cute spell. Queen Cross is so goddamn cute. For 1 blue enter, you can draw 2 cards, and then you may discard a card. If you do, the end of your next attack phase, you may put a level 2 Amuser from your hand into the field down. The enter abilities do not activate. And then its Life Burst is down up to 2 target Signy on your opponent's field. Yep, that tracks. Okay, I wanted to see more of these types of things. I guess the enter is probably pretty tight, which is why they only decided to use like 3. Peckish Owlcat says, Trouble Life Burst doesn't work in my decks. It doesn't. It's like whenever you get it, you're like, that missed completely. That was on the last Elrig attack. Great, cool. Yeah, I saw one Bang deck that was running like 12 of those Life Bursts. I think it ran like 2 Trouble, 4 Akafuku, 4 who is it? 4 Folklore, and 2 Rimlight, which all have the Life Burst of like stop 2 Signy attack. So yeah, I think you're counting on a lot of eggs to hatch here with 6 Life Bursts that are down 2 Signy Life Bursts specifically. That being said, Bunny Charge is probably the best thing for this deck that I've seen so far. Yes, you have to pay an enter, but you at least get to fill one of your lanes, and you get to draw a card, or draw 2 cards, and it has a Life Burst that defends you if the worst happens to you. So I don't hate Bunny Charge in this deck by sure. Let's see here. What else we got? We got some cool servants. I've never seen that art before. That's a cool servant art. We've got some level 1 and a level 2 here. Okay. Are those new cards? They look new. Water gun. Yep. Here we go. Water gun, not a Fasone. Even though it's in the water, it's shooting water. It's summer stuff. Cool. During the attack phase, when the Signy leaves your field, you may put a level 1 Amuser from your hand into the field downed. The enter abilities do not activate this way. Then you get to down target Signy on the opponent's field and freeze it for a life burst. Your opponent discards a card. How many are there in that one? 4? Please tell me it's 4. Please tell me it's 4. It's 4. Okay, cool. I understand now. We're doing good. We've got it. We're getting there. Level 2s that jump into the lanes after you do your things. It's kind of what I want to see. I think level 2s are very important. I can see why there's more level 2s in this deck now than level 3s, because they had to stuff the A is kill your own Signy. B is give yourself the Signy back. So they had to stuff the deck with that B section, right? The sacrifice outlet, or whatever you want to call it in Magic terms. And then this last one's a level 1. Definitely also probably here. Goldfish? Goldfish scooping? Ooh, that would be a thing I'd also want to do as a weeb. If I was in Japan. I think I can scoop a goldfish perfectly fine in America, but I want to do it in Japan. At the end of your attack phase, if there's an Amuser Signy on the left on your field during that attack phase, you may put the Signy from your field to the bottom of your deck. If you do, draw a card. Then you can put a level 2 or less Amuser from your hand into the field downed. Okay. Yeah, cool. So it helps get your level 2s out that then are kind of the ones that replace your self stuff. That is very good. And then its life burst is down target Signy on the opponent's field, freeze it, draw a card. So there's a lot of downing and freezing too, which is kind of cool. I'm into that. Sure. I don't think the freezing matters much in this deck because this deck is very aggressive. Yeah, I can see why this deck got 3rd place. I personally would have a blast playing this deck. This deck just seems like fun to play. I don't know if I'd bring it to the GP, to be completely honest with you. I am too worried that that I would draw a bunch of one pile and not a bunch of the other pile and just subsequently lose the game. I understand that's what filtering exists for, to stop that from being how that works. But I think the power level of these effects are pretty good. They're pretty tied up in your Elrig, which I think is fine. But it's like, I don't know. There's ways for this to fall apart on you. But would I play it at locals? Absolutely. This looks like a bucket of fun. And I also think it's probably pretty good. All right, we got someone saying Pekashawa over here saying 15 payoffs, 25 sack targets. Yeah. Honorary Amuser, Exia, yeah, as well. Exia is a good card. It's still going to keep being a good card. I'm very glad I have Exias in existence. And any deck that plays an Exia, I like that deck. So, yeah, 15 payoffs, 25 sack target. That is kind of the cool thing is there's not much, air in this deck. You have your nuts and bolts, literally your nuts and your bolts, and you can make it work with that. But I don't know. It doesn't also have very much, wiggle room, right? Like, the Hitoe deck had flexibility to swap sort of your attack methods, and had different angles of approach as needed in different matchups. I think this one has very much one side, which is I'm discarding my opponent. Hopefully I have no cards. That's going to help me to open more lanes, and I'll deal more damage, and I'll just keep swapping out what I have, circulating what's in my field in order to keep doing damage. So I think that's probably fine. If it's J-Feather, if it's anything like the last Mugen Shoujo Cup, I believe that was 7 rounds, cut to top 8, and then top 8 happened to sort of just like our GPs, really, with just a way smaller pool of people. Therefore, matches went faster, and I think we're probably better judged. Not saying that ours were badly judged at all. Let me just be clear before I say anything else. I just think that like because they will be more less matches. They'll probably flow quicker. I think that's how it went. I don't think there was anything special about it other than top prizing was, cool top prizing where you get your own card made for you, which I'm just gonna put it out there ahead of time. If I get the option to, if I win, I'd like Tiffany on the card, and I'd also like to let Lucky Yuki, if I could ask them, I would love for Lucky Yuki to be the person who actually does the art for it. That's my opinion. I like those two things to happen. I feel like that's very wish fulfillment-y, or like I gotta put it into the universe. So I'm just saying that out loud. As far as the format of the cup, yeah, it's just gonna be whatever current Wixoss in Japan is. So like whatever those sets that come out. I believe one of those sets comes out like literally a month before the cup, which means that I'll have to figure out what's good, just kind of like a 1 month before. But that's why I'm trying to familiarize myself with what they're doing in Japan right now and practice against what they're doing in Japan right now. So that way, if any of those decks, and I think the Hotoe deck probably is still going to be good by the time that set comes out, I'll have some practice against it. So I'll be able to play out those things. I promised you guys I'm going to be playing like 4 hours a day in these formats against many different things, but specifically what I think is probably pretty good. So that way, when I play them, I don't even have to read cards. I just know what the correct move is to play it. That's my goal. Whether I pull that goal off or not, who knows? But you guys will help me out with that, so I'll be fine, right? This is also one of the cards here. I just zoomed in on it. You can't really see it at all, but it's got MC Lion on it. That's one of the cards that you get for like a prize if you win. If you get your own custom card. So showing off there. Yeah, he's got no reason not to show that. I would show it off. Literally, it would just be floating behind me on a string every single podcast. Like it would just come in and be like, okay. I know what some of these cards are! Wow! Amazing! So I don't have to search for all of them. But let me look at what the center... Let me look at what the Elrig does before I freak out that I know what this entire deck is. Because I don't. Alright, Elrig. Perluke. Perluke is probably not on this one, right? It's probably the last set that Perluke came out of. Yeah, because Aki was here. So that means Tadexus! Diddle-doo! Perluke. I have to do a interview after this too. I don't know how I'm gonna have the voice. Spoilers, Brandon's interview for winning the GP will be coming up on the channel soon, as soon as I'm done recording it. Alright, it's the new one, right? So, Perluke. Omega Squadron? Is that it? Omega Squared. Whew. That's a lot. I'm assuming that's the one it is, right? Let's zoom in. No, it's not that one. Oh wait, maybe it is. I just zoomed into level 3. Level 3. It looks like that one, but it can't be. This one? Ah, different Perluke. So many Perlukes now. Alright, Lost Code Perluke. That is going to be auto. On your turn, once per turn, when an electronic Signy enters your field, you can target one spell in your trash that shares a color with that Signy, and then you add it to your hand. Okay, that's good. You just play an electronics deck with spells in it, and you win the game. That seems cool. And then once per game, you can pay 0, draw 3 cards, and discard any number of spells from your hand. The opponent discards 1 card for each of their hand for each spell discarded this way. I'm less of a fan of that one. I can understand why it would be good, right? Because then you can like hoard spells in your hand and then just go, bah! And then your opponent doesn't have guards anymore. But I mean, it's like super monoman, but you have to do the effort of getting the spells in your hand, and I guess you can play spells that get you more spells, right? Like that's a spell to basically draw a bunch of cards and then you get 2 spells, right? For the price of 1. I just don't love that. I mean, yes, you can choose the number, so I guess if you just want the opponent to discard by 2, you discard by 2. It's not my favorite. It's not my favorite ability. Just flat out. I like incremental discard more than I like burst discard, although burst card discard. Okay, just get my facts straight here. Burst card discard is better than incremental discard. But I like, personally as a player, weakening an opponent's hand so that way when I do my burst discard, I don't have to discard much to make the opponent discard a card. So, I don't know. Got 4th place. I'm not gonna, and it's the world champion currently. So I really shouldn't argue with it, but I think I'm willing to voice my own opinions and where it differs a bit. So when an electronic signy enters the field, you can, but it has to be the same color as the signy that you put in. And it's a real downside, but it's not real downside. Okay, so let's look at the deck then. All right. I guess let's look at the pieces first. I don't remember which this one is, but I believe it's just the flat-out draw 2, which is cool. Only having 1 month is rough. One thing I like so we already know the sets, so we can practice way ahead of time. Yeah, I agree with you. However, I will say this. GP1, I needed like the 6-month head start we basically had to get myself in a good player state. GP2, I needed 3 months, I think, to get there, and I was pretty good to go at that point. GP3, I needed 2 months to get to where I needed to be at, so that I feel like I was super confident in it. I really do feel like I could have probably played just as good about a month ahead of time. I locked into my deck pretty early, and I kind of figured out meta a bit more, and then I got more reps, which was nice. So what I'm trying to say here is, technically, 1 month is fine, because I will be, hopefully before that set releases, I will be, like, if they decided to play the GP right the day before the set releases, I will be, like, good enough to basically also play in Japan and win any game that was in front of me. So at that point, I'd be on even footing with everyone else and be able to just play well. I also have a lot of confidence in myself for being able to adapt to a new meta. I think one of the things that I think I've always been very, very good at, and this is not a point of skill that I've really talked about very much, but I was infinite on Magic the Gathering Online and Magic the Gathering Arena for Draft. And I specifically had my highest win rate at the beginning of a new set because I was able to find the synergies that worked well and were victorious against even good players, pros and stuff too, early on. And then my win rate went down a little bit as everyone figured out also the tech that was needed to win. So I'm actually pretty confident myself to being able to figure out that meta in about a month. I think I can do it. I will ask everyone for help as well. So yeah. Hello, Pigeon! Yeah, it is a live live stream. I really just don't want to edit videos, is really what it is. I'm just allergic to editing videos if I can help it. Okay, I think this one draws you cards. So I think it's just draw 2, if I remember correctly. And then gets you the limit upper. Let's look at what these other ones do. Okay, so this is the one that you can, instead of paying, say I'm doing the memorization stuff, instead of paying 3, you can just get rid of one of your arts, and then it just downs 2 Signy or Elrigs. This is the one that just you pay an enter, and you can down a Signy or Elrig, and then if you recollect 4, one of those, then you get to down another one. So I'm starting to memorize these things. This one is the draw 3 -10,000 and or discard your opponent. I think that's what it does. I'll check it in a second. This one is the -20k or put 3 cards that match your center Elrig into your hand, or you pick 2, or mill your opponent 10, and this one is unknown to me at this time. I did pretty good. Pretty proud of myself for my first time looking at those, memorizing some stuff. I'm catching on, guys. And then This one, I gotta check this one, right? That was what I was gonna do, because I think I got it, but I also think I didn't get it. Arts. Yeah, Pigeon, the live stream is because I don't want to edit, but also because, like, there's just too much to talk about as I'm learning and documenting it that I don't want to make it into a video. And it does actually feel like a live stream's better. And also, everyone in the chat is helping me, which is really nice to have people who are able to just say things, and then I'm like, oh, that's what it is. Which, thank you, Vision, for jumping in already and saying, pick 2, draw 3, freeze L rig, or bottom 10k or less. Yes, see, you just literally proved my point. Thank you so much, man. Okay, so this last one is the last one that I'm looking for. It's also blue, and it is maybe not new, but it's an arts. Oh, maybe it is new. SR Arts. Please stop. I like that. It's just like the name of it being, please stop. Just please stop. Just please, I can't do this anymore. Just please. Please stop. Maybe it's black. Maybe I'm just reading that color wrong. No, it's blue. What is this one? I don't even know who is on this art. Crazy. Okay, you guys will tell me in the chat what that art is, right? You guys will tell me what it is, so I don't have to do that. Okay, we've got some stuff here. First one is a Millaloon. I think that Millaloon is new. But this one is, I know what this one is. This one is a Lallaroo and burns the opponent for 1 enter with a discard a card and vanish something life cloth, which is cool. This one is 1 salvage, which is cool because it gets you back. You pay a black enter, you get back a card, a Signy from your trash, and put it into your hand. Or is it put it in the field? It's one of those. 1 salvage. What is it? Once. Put it on the field. Okay, so it's not as good as I was hoping it was, but I've always liked it. There's a type of card in Wixoss that I'm starting to really, really respect, and also it kind of reminds me of Pokemon card game. A little bit Magic. Magic has it a little bit, but it's called these like pockets of air cards, where like you put them in the deck and they're pretty inconsequential and they don't really cost anything, and they just let you get the cards you need. So inevitably, instead of going from a 40 card deck, you go to like a 39 card deck if you include this, right? And what I really found kind of interesting was Miko. In my last like week of testing, I was like, Miko really needed a chunk of air to like go through, a pocket of air to go through, and those cards were the Matcha, which allowed you to discard a card and draw a card, and then also Emergence, which isn't a pocket of air, but you basically trade it in for your best card in your enter, right? Which Pigeon screamed at me I had to play because I wasn't playing before. And there's still an argument to say, by adding pockets of air, you also can screw up your opening hand, and your opening hand is pretty important not to screw up. So, like, how big can your pocket of air be before you basically just destabilize the structure of your deck? Who knows? But 1 salvage is one of those things that I like and I consider as a pocket of air card to kind of like do that kind of thing. We've got 2 troubles, which is, okay, they just fill in the lanes. They also draw you a bunch of cards. Totally something that you might want to get if you're like, here's a Signy and I need to fill out the rest of my lanes, but I don't have a hand. Play Trouble, now I have a hand. And then these are just level 1 7,000s because you're playing spells, so they're 7,000 or 8,000. I think they're 7,000s. But they have a good life burst. They have a really, really good life burst, which lets you take a Signy from your trash and put it on the field. Level 2 or less, I believe. So I love that life burst. Everyone knows I love that life burst. Too badly, what's that do? We're about to find out. Too bad. Search. Draw 1, and then your opponent discards 1 card from their hand. Recollect 5. Instead, draw 1, and then the opponent discards a card at random. So Life Burst is target one of your opponent's Elrigs or Signy, and then they disable the attack unless the opponent discards 3 cards from. Oh, so it's just better extra. Got it, cool. Understood. Just better extra. Who needs extra? Extra has the ability to stop. You can't do other Desona spells. Better extra. Totally okay. Keep doing spells with that one. Sure. Good job, power jumping Wixoss. Okay. And then we get this one, which name escapes me, but I believe it's Vanish and Mill. I think that's what it does. Let's just check. Let's just check. Colors. Black, red. Any. Is that how you do that one? Nope. All. Yep. Yeah. Oh, because it's not actually black and red. It just has a black and red cost. I knew that. I think. I think it's from set 5, right? Like I can almost exactly point down when it existed. So maybe I'm just a crazy person and didn't remember, but that's how that card worked. My memory works sometimes. Moonbites, so it's not. No, maybe it's from set. I don't remember where it's from. God darn it. God damn it. It's a red spell, right? Card type spell. So we can search for it this way. I'm sure someone has mentioned it. Random drain number 3. I know. You can do so many ways to random drain now. There it is. Burning Calamity. Vanish target Signy on your opponent's field with power 12,000 or less. Put the top 2 cards of your deck or your opponent's deck into the trash. Mill them too. Okay, that's probably pretty good though because you can use your arts to mill 10, and then this gets you the last 2 that you need to. I don't know why it would be the last 2, but I mean if the game is going to the point where it's like turn 7, 8, yeah, 2 is probably enough to mill out the opponent. Life Burst. Put the top 4 cards of your opponent's deck into the trash. Okay, that's a weird Life Burst. Or Vanish target ups. Okay, so alright, it's fine. It's fine. It's a fine spell. Not my favorite spell, but you know, I really should give benefit of the doubt to the world's best player at this point, I guess. Update. Nope, DXM starter. You're right, TCG Academy. Shoutouts to your channel. You have a better channel than me. Anyone who's not subscribed to TCG Academy, subscribe to TCG Academy. You can finish wait till the live stream's over. Then watch their videos. They're more concise than my live streams are. Update. Target 1 electronics on your field. It gets the following ability to end in turn. When it attacks, target 1 Signy on your opponent's field. Vanish it unless your opponent discards 2 cards from their hand. So if you're discarding them correctly, they don't have a hand, so it's just vanish a Signy. It doesn't really matter its power or anything, which is cool. Life Burst is target up to 2 Signy on your opponent's field and then down them. Okay. I'm wondering if this format is while it's probably slowing down because of all the arts, I wonder if it's still an open 3 format. Because I'm starting to see a trend of a lot of Life Bursts that want to down to Signy. So I wonder if that is in fact the case. It's like weirdly a slower format that's still an open 3 format. That's not something we've really seen in US Wixoss yet. But I am starting to have a question for that kind of thing because there's like trouble and stuff here. The format is already this is a lot of enter spells. How are you getting the enter to cast all these spells is also a pretty damned good question. I think I'm already having with this deck, but maybe that will be revealed in time. Jay Feather says, since you're already looking the deck's cards up on deck list, Dexys, wouldn't it be easier to make it for the future? Yes! I talked to Hellfire earlier and was like, hey, when are you going to add the new set on there? And I was thinking about just putting these cards in here ahead of time and then talking about it. But he said he's busy because he's got to do a bunch of GP follow-up stuff that he's working on, which totally should be doing. So I was thinking about doing that, and I probably will inevitably do that too. It's also kind of weird because like if it was this if it was in the event page, which it's currently not, I could hit here and then kind of look at these. I don't necessarily look at what these Japanese names are in English, but like I can at least click them, you know, and then it pops up here and shows me what it is, and then I can kind of just remember this type of stuff. So yeah, I mean, it would be, but also we do it live. I've never been known for my guy who myself who preps too much. I just jump into it and start prepping while I'm doing. Okay, what do they use? Okay, your flat throw. Flat throw is if you have a bunch of cards in hand, you can convert that to damage. Cool. This is a new card that... Did I read this signature Piru? Nope, I haven't. Of course I haven't, Pigeon. You think I'm good at this? I'm not good at this. I'm just average. All right, let's go to look at it under Pigeon's advice. Up here, right? Drone. What is drone? Let's see here. At the beginning of your attack phase, if you use a spell this time, your opponent discards a card from their hand. Cool. When the Signy attacks, your opponent discards a card from their hand. Cool. Choose one, down up to 2 Signy on the opponent's field for the life burst, or draw a card. Cool. That's a lot of discard. A lot of discard, man. Beginning of your attack phase, if you use a spell this turn, your opponent discards a card from their hand, and then when it attacks, your opponent discards a card from their hand. Yeah. Discarding 2 at level 3 is pretty big game. I think there's a Blue Archives card that does that, and I like Miko because Miko fan would make the opponent discard 2 basically, even though one of it would be late. The other one, MB, dude, what? She's got 2? Are you kidding me? No. Vacuum. Vacuum. Wixoss is the greatest game. Vacuum is the card's name. That's great. No one look at what I just typed. That's the only way to do it. Oh God. Let's just do it that way. There you go. Dun dun! Or is it vacuum code heart? Is it both? That's the L-rig. Thank you, Pigeon. Got it. Okay. That's the art. Now I know. Okay. Main phase. Target one Signy on the opponent's field, power 10,000 or number vanished unless the opponent discards 2 cards from their hand. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. You reveal up to 2 spells, electronic from among them. Add them to your hand and the rest on the bottom of your deck and enter any. I know this isn't what you meant for me to look at, but I'm still looking at it. Put them into your hand anywhere. Okay, cool. So it's like so far we've seen every single one of these decks use the tribal spell that goes with it. Great, cool, understood. It's a lot of card advantage. Cool. Vacuum. Code Heart. Auto at the beginning of your attack phase. If there's a lost code Paraluke on your field, you can draw a card, or your opponent discards 1 card from their hand. Okay. Draw a card, or your opponent discards 1. Okay, so you get to choose, so that's cool. Action once per turn. If there are put 1 or more electronic Signy from your enter zone into the trash. Use 1 spell from your hand with cost lower than or equal to the number of cards paid to the trash for this ability +1 without paying its costs. Oh. Yeah, so 2 is the right number right there, because then you get to basically play 2 for free. Yeah, that makes sense. So it's an action ability. So you put this down. The combo just connected in my head. So you play this, you get trouble, you then pay an enter, pay trouble, draw 3 cards. Because you get trouble out of your trash. And you just recycle trouble to keep drawing cards. Yeah. That's pretty good. You can clip it. That's the moment I figured it out. I figured out the combo wombo there. Yeah, I mean, I'd rather pay one enter for a thing. Paraluke, the Dissona deck, which also played spells like pretty viciously, had an enter problem, and the way that the enter problem was solved was a combo of emergence, as well as just like only play things that cost 1 or cheaper. So yeah, and even then, Rue solved it with a free spell that did negative 3,000. So I can see why this helps fix it, but I don't think it permanently fixes it. I think this is just a band-aid, or a bandage that works, but it's probably still very enter hungry. Would be my main concern with this. Although I haven't really seen any deck that punishes enter in the top 4, so probably totally fine, right? Yeah, that's a good one. I was gonna get there. It was right there. See, I was on the list to get there. I was just looking at the stuff I already knew first. This is the discard a spell, and then you get to look at the top 3, put them in any order, and then draw a card. So it's like good. What do you call it? It's like good Hakat, which we used a lot in the early game to fix decks. Also, Pocket of Air cards. Speaking of Pocket Air. This one of, people love this one of, I don't love it so much, but it lets you look at the top 5 cards, and then you can put 1 spell into your hand, and then you toss the other stuff into the trash, so you self-mill, which I think is probably good for this deck, because then you can recur another spell from your trash with it. But then you can pay a black or a blue in order to vanish a Signy 8,000 or less when you, negative 8,000 when you play a spell. And then what's this new one? It's a door. It's a door. I know it's a door. Show me. Survey says door. Door. God. It's one of the like multicolored doors, right? If I do blue and green, does that narrow it down even more? Boom. Did it. Paraluke the door. This is Paraluke the deck, man. Some of Paralukes. At the beginning of your attack phase, target one of your opponent's Signy on your opponent's field. You may discard 1 card from your hand. If you do, it gets negative 5,000 until end of turn. So there's a total of 4 or more cards under Liberation Faction Signy on your field, and that gets negative 8,000. What did I read? I just blanked out. What time is it? Alright, cool. We're still good. At the beginning of your attack phase, target 1 Signy on your opponent's field. You may discard 1 card from your hand, and it's a free negative 5,000. And then its enter ability is you can target 1 Liberation Faction Signy in your trash and put it under this Signy. Is there any Liberation Faction in this here? am I missing something? Is there any Liberation Faction? Maybe this? Why is it in this deck? Because it's Paraluke and we just want to show as many Paralukes as possible? Is that because that's a real reason sometimes for these decks? Next to the Mugen deck, this is the deck that I played the most in this format, so I know a decent amount. Yeah. Okay, cool. I answer the question then. Why is this card in there? You said you know a certain amount. Tell me. Is it more doors? Is there more doors that I'm missing? Okay, understood. What's the level 2 of this deck? I knew what most of the cards were, so that's cool. I'm gonna make a guess that it's this one. Color is blue, level 2. And search. I was right. Smartphone. Auto when this Signy attacks. If you use a spell this turn, the opponent discards 1 card from their hand. Cool. Cool. Discards card. Cool. Simple but clean. Like the way that you... Okay, and this also helps mill. So you got another way to mill too, because this mills when it uses a spell. But it's mostly there to do negative 6,000, I'd assume, with this deck, which you can combo with Paraluke that does negative 5,000 to kill things. I still don't understand that Paraluke there, but it's there. Is that everything? Is that everything in the deck? Did I miss something? Yeah, I missed this level 3. No, I got the level 3. So I got all of them. This is a discard 2. Oh, but I didn't get this one, which is a Milulun. So I can at least do that, right? Milulun. Milulun? Milulun? That's a level 2. And this one is a level 3. Okay, cool. Just checking. Signy. Oh, that's a persona. That's not a thing. I don't know, man. The -5 is generic. This list intimidated me. Yeah. Yeah, it looks generic. I don't know. Sometimes it's like a thing in Japan where they like, if it's like their favorite Elrig, they'll put like some of the Signy in there, but like as a one of, to be like, I did it. It's there. This is the Paraluke deck. So I don't know. I always kind of give it the benefit of the doubt there. World winner over here, so maybe he had a reason, but sure. Okay. At the beginning of your attack phase, target one Signy on the opponent's field. You may discard a spell from your hand and play blue. If you do, you vanish that Signy. Okay, yeah, that seems generically good. And then when the Signy attacks, look at the top, look at your opponent's hand, then discard a spell from it. Sure. Yeah, I'm sure there's spells you can hit with it occasionally. So why not? Why not? Life Burst, choose one. Target up to 2 Signy from your opponent's field, and then down them. Then you draw a card. Okay, so okay, is this format aggressive? Someone tell me. Someone who knows this format better than me. It feels aggressive. It feels like there's a lot of bursts here that say stop damage, you know, like specifically 2 in some of these decks, mostly the blue ones, granted. And then there's a lot of Signy that are like just resilient to getting killed. So does that just mean that's like the killing ability in these decks are so high that like you need to up the defense aspect on it? That's what it feels like to me. That's what I'm getting. I can only know that by playing it or watching games, so I guess that's a different day that I'll figure that out. But hey, look, we looked at the 4 deck lists I wanted to look at for this, which is cool. Yeah, sure, English. Let's do it. Boom. Yeah, I can see the power in Hitome. I can see the power in all of these. This is the one I want to play because I think this deck looks sweet. But I can see the power in all of these and why they got top 4. I'd be interested to see what the top 16 is and the breakdown of like the event is. I don't think it shows it. Yeah, so I'll have to figure this out on a different date. Have you seen the One Stop deck? No, what's the One Stop deck? You go ahead and tell me what it is while I'm wrapping up, and then maybe I'll know. I probably have it. I was very laser focused on the last GP, and the last 2 weeks I have very much checked out of Wixoss outside of making some content videos because I didn't want to burn myself out. Really, is the answer. So I mean, I'm happy to burn myself out now. Cool. Maybe on a different one, I will look at these deck lists. I don't think these deck lists are super real because like they're just very beginning of the format, like very transitionary between arts format and like team-based format. So I'm not gonna, maybe I'll just look at these on my own. I won't put too much effort into these. It stops at level 1. Oh, is that the one where it basically just does like a million damage? Rue is telling me this. It just does like damage out of the Elrig deck and then swings with its Elrig and assumes that you don't have any guards and it wins. Yeah, that seems like a complete meme deck, but sure. I mean, look, the Dash decks have always been like, I'm killing you now. And then you've just got to respect that they exist and be like, okay, cool, I have a generic way to stop that, so no. Which I think all of these did. I think all of these had one way to stop an Elrig from attacking, so that must be how they were like, okay, now you auto-lose, or something like that. Hilarious. I have heard about that deck. I haven't seen the deck list yet, but the fact that it's on top 4 here shows me that I don't think it's great, but maybe it's in this one that I haven't looked at. Yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested to see what this first GP was, because it's got a lot of, like, yeah, it plays a lot of damage in the deck. Yeah, cool. I'm interested to see what this GP did. It seems like my chance to play Tamago, probably my second favorite, maybe my third favorite Elrig, has come and gone from me. But you guys can live that dream on for me. It would be cool to play defense deck. I don't know if defense deck is any good in this new arts format. My guess is probably okay. I just think flexible assists, aka arts, is probably way better than anything else that you could be playing. But I'm interested. I'm interested to see what they could do. I wonder if this is what you were net decking from, Pigeon, for the Paraluke. The coffee player. yeah, I'll take a look at this one on my own. I don't think I need to bore you guys with it because I think it's just too transitionary. I think it wasn't. I don't think there was a critical mass amount of arts yet that made arts just the superior choice. But I think that's where the format we're in right now, which is probably why this is more important to look at. Probably gonna end my live stream now. I've been going for forever. I've got to do an interview with the first place winner of GP, the guy who trounced me, and I'm excited to have that interview. And I should probably keep my voice a little bit for it. I'm gonna make tea. Is what I'm gonna do with a little bit of honey. So yeah, thank you guys for coming. It was very cool to see so many people here. I was expecting literally me to be only here, and it looks like we peaked out at like 15, which is cool. I don't know how to live stream, so it was very cool to learn with you guys what I'm doing. But I'm going to hit the stop streaming button, and I'm really going to hope it actually stops at this point. So I'll see you guys later. May you always flip a life burst.